Good to be with you. I'm Katie Turn. New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch was blunt. Take away $187 million in federal funding from the NYPD for counterterrorism and risk a terrorist attack in the country's biggest city and the world's #1 terrorism target. A few weeks ago, we marked 24 years since 9/11, the deadliest attack on American soil since Pearl Harbor, with 2,977 lives lost. We were told to never forget. But is that exactly what's happening right now? Has the White House forgotten exactly why federal counterterrorism funds go to the NYPD? According to Commissioner Tisch, those dollars fund what she calls the backbone of the NYPD's effort to keep this city safe. They pay for bomb squads, heavy weapons patrols in sensitive areas, critical response teams at places of worship, radiation detection to stop a dirty bomb before it's detonated, intel analysts who uncover plots, camera systems, and training for active shooter attacks. The kind of monitoring and response the NYPD says has kept this city safe, kept people riding the subway, kept people feeling comfortable at sporting events, kept iconic locations like the Brooklyn Bridge protected, kept the stock exchange running, kept allowing everyone here to live their life free of the overwhelming anxiety that another 9/11 might be just around the corner. So why hold up that funding? Joining us now, NYPD Intelligence and Counterterrorism Deputy Commissioner Rebecca Weiner. Rebecca, it's really great to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm trying to make sense of this. The only sane answer that I can think of is that the White House has just forgotten, because to make this a political football, this funding for counterterrorism, does not sound sane. Am I wrong to suggest that?
I think the point is counterterrorism cannot be a political issue. It's an issue that affects, of course, not just our city, but the country and the world. And these federal funds have been the lifeblood of our intelligence and counterterrorism program, which has done so much to protect our city and the country and the world.
But there's still federal dollars going to the FBI. There is a joint terrorism task force here in New York. Half of it is the FBI. Is that enough?
So additionally to those resources, which of course are necessary, integral to our protective response to all sorts of threats, not just terrorism, you have core funds that are separate from the Joint Terrorism Task Force, the FBI. These are funds that pay for our bomb squad to do their sweeps, our heavy weapons teams to go fortify perimeters around sensitive locations or houses of worship. For the UN General Assembly last week, anyone who was around Midtown would have seen these specially trained officers. Spectrometry equipment, chem bio rad nuclear detection and mitigation capabilities, physical barriers, target hardening that we do whenever there's a big event in town, or today on Yom Kippur around houses of worship. And near and dear to my heart, the intelligence analyst program, individuals who spend their days behind the scenes identifying the plot before it turns into an attack.
How often are you identifying plots?
All the time. So in addition to all of the thwarted attacks that we've had against our city, our team has flagged 150 actionable, operationalizable leads that have resulted in arrests or disruptions of the law enforcement activity to 8 states and 10 countries. So this isn't just about New York City. It really is a force multiplier in the counterterrorism space for all of the federal agencies.
So these are terrorist attacks that might not just be happening here in New York City. They might be attacks that are planned in other cities in this country and maybe other cities around the world?
Exactly. And those are federally funded programs that help get in front of that. So this is core to our strategy, which is all about prevention, preemption, mitigation.
It's been 24 years since 9/11. And I have to say, only occasionally do I think about that when I'm on the subway. Earlier in my lifetime here in New York City, when we were closer to that day, I would think about it quite a bit. As we've gotten farther away, it's not as top of mind. Should it be more top of mind now without this funding?
So I think really the the hope is that it is not top of mind for New Yorkers going about their day-to-day business. That's our job, to keep it from the headlines, to keep it from being part of the public's consciousness. But that doesn't mean the threat is not there. We've got an incredibly chaotic, dynamic, and fast-paced threat environment. Over the weekend, you had 2 horrific incidents of targeted violence. You had an attack this morning in Manchester. Each time these happen, we look very closely and think to ourselves, what about that attack could create a vulnerability in New York or elsewhere? And how do we protect our city better? And what sort of force multiplier activity can we offer to our partners where it's happened?
So if you don't get this funding, she says, the commissioner says, it's not like New York's going to be safe tomorrow, not safe the next day, but in 6 months, it might not be as safe. We have FIFA, the World Cup, coming here to the tri-state area next summer. How do you keep that safe without that funding?
We have FIFA, we have the 250th birthday of the country, which is going to result in a big, certainly a high security event around ships coming from around the world into our harbor. But more proximately, we've got the Halloween parade, the Thanksgiving Day parade, New Year's Eve, and the list goes on and on. So these are major events that require this support in order to protect, especially given the threats.
If you do not have that money, what happens?
Well, all of those capabilities
are you starting to lay people off? I mean, are you shuttering down analyst units? Are you not going to have people with heavy machinery, heavy weaponry in the subway or in front of places of worship? Will we notice the changes?
Can't afford to let that happen, right? We just can't afford. These are too important and vital of resources and functions, and we will not let our city go unprotected.
There is a federal lawsuit, and so far a judge here in New York has said that this doesn't make sense. It's politically motivated. He and others are arguing this is the Trump administration's retribution for stopping compliance with immigration actions. It's a sanctuary city. They don't like sanctuary cities. So this is the way they're trying to push back on New York, the leverage that they have. We'll see what happens down the line with the court cases and whether or not that gets overturned. But do you think that it is a fair bargain to stop being a sanctuary city in order to get this cash?
No, absolutely not. This is not about politics. This is about national security. It's about public safety. And as our police commissioner said yesterday, we will not stop fighting until we can make sure to protect our city.
What if they try to argue that the immigration enforcement is a national security issue? They have made that argument.
Again, you know, this is a threat environment that encompasses a wide range of activity. You just had an attack this morning, a terrorist attack against a synagogue in the UK. You have school shootings. You have all sorts of issues that are outside of the domain of typical terroristic activity. But you have a very elevated terrorism environment, and these resources are vitally needed to make sure that we can protect our city.
Is there another way to get that funding if the federal government does not come through?
Well, we're just fighting really hard to restore these federal funds.
No other way?
This is the way that we've been doing it for the last 24 years, and we're about to hit the 25-year anniversary of 9/11. This has been integral, and it will remain integral, and we'll keep fighting for it.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, it has been 24 years. We've averted or avoided a major terrorist attack here in this city, and I speak for, I think, all New Yorkers when we say we hope that we continue avoiding that.
Absolutely.
Rebecca Weiner, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.